All right, man. What's up, YouTube? I talk about how much I like the hypercars and how the 499P is basically this generation's R18. And then you got Toyota, which I drive every day. So it's time to start diving more into those. Just an introductory to the series of figuring out, do I like LMDH more or LMH? Stay tuned. Time to go ahead and start deep diving into Le Mans Ultimate. I'm gonna basically do a series comparing LMDH versus LMH and seeing if the hypercars, the four-wheel drive LMH cars, are really better. Seems like they keep winning the championship and they keep winning Le Mans. So we're gonna do a couple different stints with all the cars. I'm biased towards the hypercars because they're more true to what more true LMP1 successor than the LMDH cars. But also, like, that's kind of where all the big dogs are. You know, Ferrari, Toyota. Those are like two of my favorites. So, really wanted to see where they stacked up. I was actually driving, messing around with my settings on Automobilista 2, and I started to drive the BMW LMDH car. But I was like, you know what? I have something that feels better than the AMS2, and it's more specialized in hybrids. So why am I driving a LMDH car on AMS2? Stay tuned. All right, Le Mans Ultimate. Let's try this again. Hypercars. I talked about how Hypercar is four-wheel drive, while LMDH is rear-wheel only, and start of a video series to check and see how they compare. Of course, they're different engines and all of that stuff, but the bigger question is, do the hypercars really have that much of an advantage? Meaning LMH, the four-wheel drive regulated cars, have that much of an advantage. So think Peugeot, Toyota, Ferrari, even the Aston Martin, you can include that, even though it's so drastically different from everything else. I'm not sure how much of a difference it's really gonna make. But anyways, I'm partial to the Toyota because that's what I drive. But I'd be lying if I said the Ferrari wasn't a beast. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop on track here. I actually need to sign up for offline. But we're just going to do a quick little test of the main hypercars. We're going to do, I want to do Coda, but I don't have that DLC pack. Let's go somewhere I know. I'm going to learn Brazil. Actually, let's go 2023. Sebring. I think that'll be fun. Oh, yeah, European Le Mans Series. Back on track, baby. Back on track. Sebring. Now with the car being all-wheel drive, there should be some understeer that we'll have to combat. So we got the Ferrari 499P. I'm not gonna count this one, but the Peugeot. Well, I'm not gonna drive it today. Toyota. So we'll drive the Toyota and the Ferrari today, as those are, I mean, really the only two hypercars that actually matter as far as like being consistently competitive. I haven't driven the Ferrari yet, so let's go ahead and check this bad boy out. It's been a while since I've been on Sebring. Alright. For some reason, oh Lord, that can't be right. I got some settings to go through. That can't be right. Leave it in the video. Leave it in the video. Jesus. I got black flagged. See what happens when we don't go to spa every day, every week? Oh my goodness. Just gonna keep it simple because evidently I don't know the Sebring pit stops. I know the track good enough. You know what? That's a long lap. We're gonna go here. And I hate to be a basic broad, but I gotta adjust that because going out of the pits, and I don't know what that is. I don't know why it does that. Because it turns okay when I'm driving, but leaving the pits, I'll always slam into the wall. Like I need to adjust my degrees of rotation. So you can hear the hybrid. Also 7-speed. Like everything is 7-speed. So the hybrid system, battery system sounds real good on braking. I know they put in a lot of effort. You can even hear it. Yeah, listen to that. I feel like I need to adjust my degrees of rotation for Le Mans Ultimate. But the 499P, you can't seem to do wrong when it comes to Le Mans 24. It's won 3 years in a row. Every year it's been back, it's won. And everybody complains about the F1 budget cost cap. This car would not exist if it wasn't for that. So for me, it's one of my favorite endurance race cars ever. Even though people love this for looking a certain type of way, but they're not huge on the R18. There are actually a lot of similarities between this and the R18. Both have that ultra wide V6. Both have 4-wheel drive. Only biggest difference is this is petrol, while the R18 is diesel. I gotta make some adjustments on here. A lot of companies have a lot of companies their rear end setup, kind of their rear quarter panel, 3/4, is very inspired by this car. The two that I'm thinking of are the McLaren, which is a Dallara chassis, and I'll add in images. McLaren has a Dallara chassis, and that comes out in 2027. I think the McLaren and that's supposed to have a NAV10. And then the other one is actually the Hyundai, which has a 3.2 liter twin turbo V8. So it's really on the small side. But that Hyundai is dope because it has the, oh yeah, you can hear the hybrid on it. That Hyundai is dope because it has the they're the same team that made the WRC engine, and it sounds exactly the same, just a little bit, just more of it, because they basic math, you know, they took the 1.6 liter turbo 4 and just multiplied it by 2. Twin turbo V8. I gotta adjust the steering. I just crossed over my arms. But both of those have that similar 213. That's like crawling in this car. Anyways, both of those cars kind of have that similar shark fin look to them. I'll pause it real quick in here. Gotta bear with me because I'm still. That's close enough. Like this spot right here, and then the way the wing kind of dips down at an angle. Both cars have that similar design to it. Oh, here we go. But that replay it's actually not bad considering my memory card, my graphic card is actually not horrible. They both have that similar shark fin design on them. Anyway, let's switch over to the Toyota. So far, I mean, this car, I gotta finish doing some adjustments to the sim itself, but it feels good. Alright, this angle right here. This is what I was trying to explain while driving. The shark fin is very similar between this and the Hyundai as well as the McLaren. Anyways, let's go ahead and switch over to the Toyota. So the Toyota has a 90-degree V6. It's also the oldest hypercar. That's a true hypercar. While the TSO 50 had a 2.4 liter twin turbo, this has a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. Anyways, we're gonna go with the number 7 car. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do the look that everybody wants to see. That's what we're gonna do. Speaking of hypercars, that's the winged Peugeot, while the 2023 is the non-winged version. Where's the black car? Oh, so this is the black car. That's not the one I'm looking for. The one I'm looking for is the red Toyota GT1 livery. I think that's the number 7 car that has that one. There it is. So here are the. I was actually glad to see Toyota switch from the white, red, and black to the all black, and then they did this special livery with the number 7 car. Anyways, let's go ahead and get her on track. Yeah, I gotta adjust the steering because I shouldn't have to cross my arms over so much when I'm leaving the pits. Toyota Hypercar has a displacement advantage over the Ferrari, but they get screwed so bad on the BOP. I will say it has a punch compared to the Ferrari, but I think the Ferrari is designed the best. I'll give them credit on that one. I think there's a lot of similarities with the Audi, some of the Porsche Group C cars, and that being smaller engine with a low center of gravity and turbos to make up the power, so it's still efficient. Has that low center of gravity, so it has that advantage in the turns, but it it still has enough grunt to get to the next turn in between. I plan on testing these in both the wet and the dry. Because if it's available, one thing with me with sim racing is, you got to be willing to drive the car in any condition. If it's in the game and it's possible, you need to be able to drive it. So for me, even when we did the Daytona race, I don't like that feeling of just praying it doesn't rain. Luckily, it didn't. In our stint, some of the stints, with Jimmy Broadbent, Max Verstappen, some of those stints, crazy on iRacing. But I do definitely think Toyota kind of gets screwed on BOP. I get that there are new manufacturers coming in, and it's an exciting time for the sport, and we want them to have success. While Toyota already had theirs, but at the same time, just because Toyota isn't the new guy, they're the old guy on the block, doesn't mean they should get screwed on BOP every weekend, where 10 less horsepower, 20 more kgs is like a running joke by now. As for the four-wheel drive stuff with both cars, I haven't got a ton of understeer, so I don't think that's something that I'll have to deal with. But I definitely got to turn down the degrees of rotation. I think I got it set to 900 right now. There goes that understeer. I think I have it set to 900 right now. When I need to put it at maybe 720. See how that does for me. But it feels punchy. I just gotta slowly work my way through all of the LMDH cars and see kind of where they all stack up. And I'm definitely going to get into some longer stints with these cars, because the only way, in my opinion, to test what a car is like before you rank them is let that car lose some weight, See how it does over a stint. See how many laps you can get with the percentage calculator. So more of a teaser slash preview for my next set of videos, my next video series. I love what Lamar is doing right now. It's a little confusing with LMH and LMDH, all called Hypercar. None of them having to sell road cars. But then the Valkyrie has the road version, and Toyota made a concept road car, and so the Franchitti had one. But it's a good time to be a IMSA fan or a sports car racing fan. Anyways, all right, what's going on, guys? Decided to finish the video off here. It was only 20 minutes, and I didn't like how the outro was kind of going. So you guys won't see that outro. Just a 5-minute race at Le Mans with the Ferrari 499P. Like I said, just continuing the video. Drove the two hypercars I like the most, that being the Ferrari and the Toyota. Ferrari screens R18 ultra wide V6 4-wheel drive hybrid. Biggest difference is the gas versus diesel thing. And then the Toyota, like I said, that's what I drive on a daily. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this 5-minute race. I did lower the degrees of rotation on my wheel to 720 degrees. Felt pretty good right away, so stay tuned, and we'll do this little race in the car. We'll see how it goes. I will say I think the hybrid system on this car sounds so good, just because it's loud, just like the real car. And I know they put a lot of emphasis on that. Anyways, we got it set to the 2025 season. Yeah, lowering the degrees of rotation helped a lot.
Green flag, green flag.
And we're off. Porsche punches off with that V8. I actually have not. I think I've only done one race on here. This is also an AI race. That's why Robert Kubica. Get out the way. My first hypercar race, guys. Stall me out. Anyways, back on green. I don't know how to manage any systems. I need to pay attention to the rev lights. Obviously, I can brake later. There goes that understeer I didn't think I had. Traction is extremely high. And I still got it. Anyways, I got zero expectations. I am partial to the BMW and the Cadillac As far as the Lara goes, I'm partial to that chassis on other sims, so it's going to be interesting to see. Cadillac just has that punch out of the corners. It's going to be interesting to see if the Lara stays my favorite in the LMDH class, or will it be something completely different that I'm not expecting. But BMW is my favorite going into Le Mans Ultimate. Uh-oh. Big lockup. The lower degrees of rotation helped a lot. I think I took my dampening down and my wheel inertia down as well. Understeered again. Yeah. So it definitely feels four-wheel drive. Together a decent lap here. Meaning a decent lap. Not spinning out, not killing the entire grid. It's funny though, people really 499P makes me laugh too, because it's like, you know, Ferrari have their F1 struggles. I call them the Dallas Cowboys of F1. That budget cost cap came into play, and I forget who I was listening to talk about it, but they were like, you know, we don't want to have to fire all of these people. So they decided to go back to Le Mans. It would have been major to see Ferrari build an Indy car, but I'm actually glad they decided on coming to Le Mans again. And then on top of that, they actually like win. Did I want them to win 3 times in a row? No. Promise you I didn't. But it's cool because, like I said, instead of firing all of those F1 people, they moved over and they built this bad boy. And it's a beast, man. Course bias aside, there is a good shot that this ends up being my favorite Hypercar. I cause a huge pile up on some Romain Grosjean Lotus Renault days, and the entire grid just disappears. So I got some work to do on here. Like I said, I was originally gonna do the video, but I was like, you know what? I need to get a replay thumbnail with both of the cars, and I was like, why not do the whole grid so it looks unbiased? And then I was like, the race is only 5 minutes, so let me go ahead and end the video there. We'll see if it makes me go around one more time, but I don't think it will, because the clock hit 0 before we crossed the line. Yellow flag on who? Alpine wins. All right, guys. Long way to go, but not very good. Best lap was a 3:38. Extremely slow. Look at that. 9 seconds slower than the Alpine. But it's literally my first laps. I don't have nothing set up. I'm barely checking the I'm barely learning the what settings I like, so don't get me wrong. But it was I'm excited. I'm excited to drive more cars and see how good we end up getting. But where am I at? Oh, there I am. Look at that logo. Anyways, guys, comment down below what's your favorite hypercar across LMDH as well as LMH is, and stay tuned because there's a couple cars I still gotta get. I gotta get the Peugeot. This is also included in that. The Aston Martin is the weirdest hypercar of all of them. If it does have any hybrid, it's barely any. The rest of the hypercars are all-wheel drive, and all of the LMDHs are rear-wheel drive. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, comment down below. Stay tuned for more Apex Music.